All right, hello everybody. I hope you are enjoying Explore. So today's topic is about security at each layer. And we will be talking about why do you need to secure your applications at different layer and how you can do it using Avi Load Balancers. So how many of you have heard of Avi Load Balancer and its security capabilities? Anybody? Nice, I can see a few hands. So what we'll do in this demo is not just the web application firewall, but we will see without enabling WAF, there are security features available at each layer of Avi solution, and it's built on top of Avi LB. So we'll review how you can protect your application and why exactly do we need to have security at each layer. So before that, disclaimer, I'm sure all of you must have seen it multiple times during presentations. And I have been with Avi LB for 8+ years now in multiple roles, and I take care of performance, scale, security, core LB features. So first and foremost, why do we need security? So to start with, we have perimeter firewalls, and multiple companies offer perimeter firewalls. Why do we need perimeter firewalls? So it secures your boundary between public internet to the private data centers. So that's when you need perimeter firewall. So for example, your organizations, you are not able to access few of the websites. So that is being done by the perimeter firewall. So that's the job there. And once inside the data center, inside your private network, you need to have another layer of security that needs to be telling like which ports needs to be allowed, what are the applications that will be allowed. All those things are being done by the network firewalls. So we need security even beyond firewalls. Firewalls are not sufficient. Everybody must have heard the story of how Log4j impacted the industry. That's all because the Log4j attack was carried out using the payloads that was being sent over the TCP connections. That's the reason. So basically, what does firewalls do? They tell what are the ports and IPs will be allowed from a client to the servers. That's what the network firewalls do. You have certain ports that will be allowed. You have certain applications that will be allowed. That will be done by the network firewalls. But a lot of time, the attacks are being carried out by inserting something in the HTTP payload or whatever is being sent over the connections. So for that, you need to have the web application firewall. And Avi LB provides this solution. We do SSL termination. We do a lot of security at our application layer. So we look into the payload. We have WAF capabilities. We have bot detections. All of these are available within the same solution of Avi LB. Now, VMware, or vDefend I should say, in general provides a full suite of security. We have vDefend IDS, IPS solutions that will protect you against the network threats. And then we have distributed firewalls from vDefend. So all of these are for securing your east-west traffic. So once the traffic is across the perimeter firewall, it's inside your data center, you need to make sure that your east-west traffic is secure. And then comes the next step. So you have Avi WAF. So Avi WAF is meant for securing your layer 7 payloads. So we have WAF capabilities, we have bot management, and all of these happens at the application layer. And at each layer, we have different security capabilities. You need not to enable WAF for that. So usually our customers starts very basic, and then they move on to the advanced features. So we have at layer 3, we have IP reputation. We have layer 3 ACLs that customers can put in. Then we have DDoS capabilities, data strips at layer 4, which you can enable for protecting your environments. And then we have advanced features such as bot management and full-fledged WAF capabilities. Our customers usually start small. They can enable all of these using the single SKU. You need not to buy additional licenses for trying it out. So they start small, they see how their traffic is doing, and then they move on to the advanced use cases. How it works when it comes to traffic, and why do we need security at each layer? The reason is the type of attack. So in most of the cases, attackers are trying to find loopholes in each of the layers. So first and foremost, we have IP reputation. So we have the IP reputation database in our control plane that is pushed to the service engines. And most of the time, IP reputation IPs will be matched, and we will decline the traffic. But attacker may be using a new botnet. We may not be having that IP with our database. In those cases, it will hit the next layer, and we will have layer 3 ACLs that can prevent the traffic. And then if it is an advanced bot, it will actually be able to pass the network ACL based on the rules, and then it will hit the bot management. In bot management, we can detect bot, and we can classify bot into multiple categories, and based on all those classifications, we will take some sort of action, whether we want to rate limit, we want to allow, deny, all those things are happening at this layer. But even if at this layer, if attacker is able to reach this layer, then we have WAF capabilities where it will be cross-checked for a valid application behavior. If not, it will deny the traffic. It will go through the signature checks, which is OWASP, top 10 attacks, and other sort of CRS rules. So that's the full stack. And now what we'll do is we will see how you can configure these inside the Avi LB solution. And I'll show everything via UI, how easy it is to configure. And we'll see how it is happening at each layer. All right. Right. So this is my controller. This is the control plane of Avi LB solution, and you can configure virtual services via this dashboard, and top level object is cloud. I'm not going there. I'll just showcase how easy it is to create layer 3, layer 4 profiles, and all of the multi-layer security I was showing. So first and foremost, we have the L4 VS net. We have a L4 VS. When I say L4 VS, this essentially means that Avi LB is doing a TCP proxy work, and it will not look into the application payload, which means all the load balancing decision making will be happening at the layer 4. That's what I mean by L4. Now, in this case, Avi has a framework where we can apply policies on virtual services, and we can tell at application layer, you do these actions when you match this sort of request, and at layer 4 level, you can put these sort of policies. In this case, so this is a simple rule that I'm putting, and you'll see here, I can create a new policy, and I can say that if a specific service port is or is not in the reply, then we can take some action. For example, I can say is port 80, and then I can define an action, whether you want to allow, deny, rate limit. So these are very simple rules, but this protects your application that only certain ports are allowed. Next, we have a virtual service, which is, I'll talk about IP reputation here. So in this particular case, what happens is we have our databases regularly updated via web root, and we have the cloud console. We get the updates via the cloud console, and based on that, we will match the database, and we will see if the IPs are matching those databases. So for example, in this case, you can put policies again, and here you will have to choose which DB you want to use. As of now, it is the web root DB, and we get these DBs updated based on the configuration every 24 hours, every 2 hours, 3 hours. Those sort of configurations are there. So this is the IP reputation DB that I chose, and then there is this rule. I can create any rule from here. I can simply say, this is the rule for IP reputation, and these are the type of IP. So IP reputation DB has the classification. Based on that, we can change things here. We can say botnet, and then we can say what action do you want to take. So if it is botnet, you can deny. If it is some sort of attack or some sort of IP reputation DB that we can ignore, we can ignore. So that's what about we have IP reputation, and all of these do not need any sort of WAF capabilities. You can do it on simple virtual services without enabling WAF. And then comes our WAF VSs. So particularly on this particular, yeah. So this is the configuration page, and if you see, we define what type of application it is. So layer 4, it is TCP. Layer 7, it is HTTP. And we can define which WAF policy we want to attach. And when I say WAF policy, we define rules of WAF profile, what sort of applications it will be, this application is expecting, what sort of file extension it is expecting, all those. And then we have the WAF framework where We have allow list, we have positive security, and we have signature-based protection. So all of these are configured within this WAF policy. So these are the configurations for the WAF, and I'll quickly show our analytics for this particular VS. So if you look at this VS view, we have logs here, and we have WAF dashboards, we have security dashboards. So it gives us information about all of the security level information for this VS. These are the security things that this particular virtual service is handling. And we have this WAF dashboard. So this tells how many WAF attacks it has seen. And it will say like what is the group of code rule set that is being hit, and what are the rules from those CRS we see hitting. And then we have detailed logs here at each transaction layer, and it says like what did WAF do. So WAF rejected, passed, because this WAF is running in the enforcement mode. So we can reject the request based on our intelligence. So and then at the event level, we have multiple events here that tells what is that we are doing now. Coming back to this, I'll quickly show a bot management VS. Yeah. So when we come here, so similar to WAF, we have the bot framework as well, whereas we put a WAF policy, we put a bot management policy here. And similar to WAF, we detect that this thing is a particular bot, and then it goes to the classification engine based on our intelligence. We put what sort of bot it is, and then we have to put some rules for a particular classified bot. For example, in this scenario, yeah. So this is the bot policy, and based on these bot policies, we'll define what sort of bot it is, and then we will put security policies here. And in this scenario, we have this again IP repetition. We have this GeoDB. We can select which IP repetition DB you want, which GeoDB you want. So people who are trying from bots, they can actually change their geos. So we have the GeoDB. What are the safest reasons? What are the reasons that we want to block? So based on that, a lot of people do enable things from certain regions. When it is a public-facing website, what they do is they mention that, okay, these are the GeoDBs that's allowed. And then there's a set of IPs, but people who are trying to attack your system, they will move to the new region. They will try it from different locations. So all of these things can happen from here. And then comes the policy part. So in this particular case, we have this, and we can define bad bot policy, and we can simply mention that this is what we want, and it will be, the classification is here. We can simply add what sort of bot we want to add. So we have given that this is the human, and if you look at it, as of now, the internet traffic, 60% of the traffic is a bot traffic. So it's very less real traffic, and then bots are like both the types. It's good bots, bad bots. So a lot of time there are search engines running their bot on your browsers that help you to sort of remember your things and give you customized recommendations. All those are like good bots. They gather some analytics and conclude customized for you. So in this case, I can simply select that it is a bad bot, and what sort of action you want. So from here you can, if you want to see like what is happening, then you can simply rate limit it, and you can put how many accounts you want. So all these sort of features are available, and at each layer, as I mentioned, IP repetition is the first one. Then comes our layer 4 capabilities, where you can use data scripts or layer 4 policies. We have DDoS protection as well, where at each layer we detect the traffic, and then based on the traffic we decide like it is a DDoS attack. We generate event, and based on those events, we can take some sort of alerts configured, we can send emails, we can take some actions to deny, to rate limit everything. So these are the features at different layers that's available. And I was saying like this rate limiting is a very powerful feature. So because most of the time you do not want to deny the whole traffic, so you rate limit for a while, you are under DDoS attack. A lot of customers, what they do is in general, they'll put a rate limit that, okay, for this time period, do not accept more TCP connections, more than like 1,000, 2,000, those sort of limits they put. They see their traffic, they say whether or not they are improving, are they still being attacked. So rate limiting feature comes in picture, and this is at the TCP layer, this is at the HTTP layer as well. So for all of the HTTP policies, you play around with HTTP request, HTTP security. So when it comes to HTTP request, so you have certain requests coming in, you know that, okay, this is not a good request, I don't want to entertain it or send it to my backend server. In that case, what you will do is you will put a policy that will essentially send a custom response from the Avi LB solution itself. It will not even go to the server. You can send 403s, you can send 404, you can send 301, redirect, all those things are available within the HTTP request framework. And another powerful thing is the data script. So data scripts are designed to take custom actions based on your layer 4 and the layer 7 traffic. So there are a lot of rules that are exposed. You can take some actions, L7.request.something, then if this matches, then take this action. So these sort of capabilities are available within Avi. And as I mentioned, you need not to have WAF enabled. You can do things on your L4 virtual services. You can do things for your L7 virtual services. And for advanced use cases, you can have WAF enabled. Why I'm saying this is because you need additional compute capacity for WAF. So our framework is, in WAF also, we have allow list, we have positive security, and then we have signature-based detection. That's what we do. And we have one session today evening at 3:30. That's a breakout session. And we will be covering in detail all of the WAF capabilities. That's one session that I think you should attend if you are interested in WAF. And if you want to, so these are, yeah. So if you are interested in workshops or if you want to learn more about Avi, there are a lot of YouTube videos that's available on how to enable WAF, how do you enable bot protection using Avi, how do you create data scripts. There are a lot of literature in terms of knowledge base articles, YouTube videos. You can go through them, and you can anytime request on these if you are in need of any sort of workshops, and you can reach out to us. That's my email ID, and these are basically just if you're receiving tokens and all, this is the place for you. Any questions around WAF, Avi in general, security? Thank you. Thank you.